So what morally justifies removing someone's head that wanted to live?
Say again?
The question, what morally justifies removing someone's head who wanted to live?
Nothing.
Oh, okay. Are you vegan?
I am on the fence about vegan. I was on Lydia's live a couple days ago or last week, and I am going into challenge 22 once I've exhausted my food resources in the house as to not waste food.
Mm-hmm. That's
So
awesome.
I'm going
Definitely
to.
sign up for it sooner than later just because they put you guys in groups.
No, I get that. I'm going to try it. I'm going to experiment with it just because I do believe in the moral agency of people having, we've talked about this, that sentience and sapience is in animals, that they are having a subjective experience. So the thing is, we have to know what is right. I still believe that if people are wanting food and everything, they could scavenge and everything, but it's going to be a long time later down the road.
Are you talking about people struggling? Like people in food deserts and such?
Yeah, food deserts or the cases where there's a heavy Arctic climate where the majority of the food that they get is fish or meat-based protein. The
I
resources
mean,
aren't allowing them to keep
so
vegetation.
those people, if there's someone down there or in those areas that wants to go vegan, like has recognized that animals are sentient, they will find a way. The motivation has to be there. That's all. If you understand the why, you'll figure out the how. Anybody can go vegan anywhere. Obviously, there's going to be scenarios and situations where people are forced into doing something that is against their principles, and that's an injustice, right? They shouldn't. They should have access to their food. So I don't disagree with you, though, that maybe some areas can't survive fully yet. Maybe. I just think though that the demand isn't high enough in those areas. If they start demanding it from the places that they, unless you're just talking about people that are like living off, like literally out in the woods, in that case, they can also
Forward.
benefit from growing plants, but they probably just need to know that they can live that way. They just maybe not know yet. They probably don't know yet.
No, and I agree. The only thing is, like, in order for morals to change, it's the same thing that goes in with consent. We have to be teaching it at a younger age so people can understand,
Sure.
like, the values. Because I think a
I
lot of
mean,
people are getting brought up with, okay, this isn't bad. They were put on the earth for us, but the thing is, we are not going to have this thing where it's going to be across the board until we're teaching it at a younger age.
oh yeah. I mean, we're only 1%, 1 to 3% of the population, so. But I don't know. I feel like we are growing. I think people are learning. Maybe people aren't living by their principles yet, but the idea is growing, and that might have a big effect later. Um, but yeah, at this very second, I would agree that it's not universal yet. But at the same time, this knowledge that's getting out there, that's how change happens, you know? And I feel like also what comes with the vegan message is awareness of injustices in reference to food deserts or people that are living out in the middle of nowhere that, maybe not have access to everything and they should.
Right. And I guess I'm looking at the chat. They're saying something about indigenous groups lacking morals. I don't think that they lack morals. I think it's the fact that it's a cultural thing where we're taught to hunt,
Yeah.
scavenge, and even forage for ourselves. It can still be a thing that focuses mostly on foraging and everything and still living in peace with Mother Earth.
Absolutely. Yeah, the traditions, I have no problem with people doing their traditions. Your traditions just don't matter more than taking someone's life. So that's just, just take out the sentient being and evolve it with something something that doesn't cause harm, doesn't require someone being used without their consent. I don't know. I thought that was kind of the mindset of most people that do live off the land, right? I thought that was the mindset to only take what you needed, not, do it just because it's aesthetically pleasing. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I have a lot of people throw that argument. See, and they're often not indigenous themselves when they bring up this argument.
Well,
I have anybody
myself,
can be vegan, and it's not necessarily a Western philosophy. A lot of it comes from poorer nations, in fact, having empathy for others.
yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I was brought up like I'm Irish and Mexican, but in my Mexican roots, we do have indigenous roots as well. And I was taught those practices of honoring the food. If you kill something, you need to use every part.
See, but it's kind of like you're just putting a pretty bow on something that's really gross. And the whole reason that, from my understanding, that people that, were living off the land, they were respectful because they didn't want to take more than they needed. Because they, from my understanding, saw it as though they were sharing the land. And we're in a time where we have all the alternatives we could want, most of the world. So why are we still subjecting animals to this abuse?
Yeah. And cute bunny bro, you do realize that like reses have Wi-Fi and everything else too, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah. I understand that a lot of it comes from tradition. I understand about survival. You could justify eating anything in survival mode. But as far as tradition goes, the sentient life matters more than, having this nostalgic memory of something. Traditions are important to remember where you come from. But again, why does someone have to suffer for you to remember a past? It's just unnecessary.
No, I agree, and thanks for bringing me up. I wasn't really trying to be an op or anything. The only thing is that morality is subjective, and until we can get it, and the reason it's subjective is because we base a lot of our morals on our society. Until we can change as a society, we're not going to change at all.
Right. Well, and it's like you said, it's subjective. So I always ask people, like, would you want to be put through that? Like, if someone was bigger and smarter and stronger than you, like, would you accept being used by them without your consent? Would that be tolerable for you?
Yeah.
My answer would be no. So.
Yeah, no, yeah.
All right. Well, I appreciate you coming up, Travis.
Yeah, no problem. I hope you have a good day.
Good luck on your challenge 22. I'd love to hear about it, even during your challenge, but also afterwards.
Yeah, I'll try and come up when I'm doing that. It's going to be different. I think I've come up here before, and like I'm largely Presbyterian, so it's just going to be a different thing getting rid of my meat source and just switching to lentils, legumes, and every other. I've been doing my research into what I can do for my proteins, for my fiber, every last aspect I can do for it. And I know that
seasonings are amazing.
Yeah.
It blows your mind how simple you can make something taste like something else sometimes, Yeah,
I still hate tofu with a passion, but that's a different story.
I'll be honest. So the first couple of years that I was vegan, I avoided tofu. I hated it. I'd never had it cooked well. I felt like people just chopped it up raw and put it in a soup, and that was it. I've since learned how to actually cook tofu, and I love tofu. So I only say that not to say that your experiences are not right, but more that you might change and just, always be open to trying it. Yeah.
No, I got you. Well, like I said, have a great day.
You too.
Good luck with the whole removing the pumpkin.
Yeah. Thank you. And good luck with Challenge 22.
Yep.
All right.